Hey y'all, today we have a finnor Ahab 30 and the issue will be pretty obvious. So I'm not getting anti-reverse on this. But if you go real hard, now you have anti-reverse. So this is going to be kind of an exploratory video. This is for a subscriber. Now mind you, I don't do mail order reels. This was an exception. He was in a bit of a bind and couldn't resolve it, so I said I'd look at it for him. So I'm going to open these 5 screws up to open the side plate. I'm going to go to the most basic section, which is over here, and see if there's something going on with the dogs or the ratchet or something inside there, and then work my way from there. Alright, so let's see what's going on here. And I see a little bit of wear, but I don't see a whole lot of anything going on here. Now I know we do have a washer here, I just saw it. And I don't have a schematic for this reel, so I don't know if the washer is supposed to be there or not. But I'm going to assume that it should be there. Alright, so we have a bunch of washers there. I'm not sure we need 2 there. So if you just put the one back on and leave this one off, let's see what that does. Still the same issue, so that's good. At least we know it's not the washers. Obviously, if someone serviced a reel before and brought it in or sent it in to you, then there's a concern that they may have just put it back together wrong, or something is awry somewhere in there. But I'm just going to open it back up. Stay over here for a sec, and then if nothing can be resolved on this end, then we're going to kind of work our way inside this pool and see what's going on inside there. Those look okay. The only thing I see here is that bearing right there is slightly raised above the housing, and that might be an issue. Let's just see if we can pop it in. Let's pull it out first and see if there's anything inside there, or if it goes any deeper. So we got it out. I think it does go lower. I'm gonna guess it's probably supposed to be flush. And then again, maybe not. Nope, I think that's about as far as it goes. So let's dig deeper. And the more I look at it, the more I see like a slight amount of wear on there, but I don't think it's anything crazy to where it shouldn't work. So if I check one of these angles, because that's really my concern at this point, I think what's happening is it's coming in kind of shallow. So instead of coming in at an angle kind of like that, with that spring having it up in that section, so when it comes across, it's going to essentially, and let's see if I can do this on camera, it's going to go pop and pop in there. I think it's coming in more at an angle like this, and I think that's what the issue is. Sometimes it works because it just kind of catches and pops up in there because there's no wear on these edges. There's some wear on some of these edges, some not so much. So I think we got to fix the angle on this spring, or rig it some other way. But essentially I kind of want it looking like that more than anything else. Okay, so let me continue working on this. I think that's what I'm going to play with. I'm going to play with the springs on this first with these dogs. If that doesn't work, then I'm going to try something else, but I'll come back to you in a second. Alright, so here's what I'm seeing. This spring right now is kind of set in a position that I think would be beneficial to that dog being in the proper angle to catch the teeth on that ratchet there, right? But when I screw this in, or when I tighten this down, what I'm noticing is I'm gonna do this angle, kind of look for that spring moving down is what I'm trying to show you guys. So if I tighten it down, what happens is I essentially change that angle on the spring as to where it's coming down more, so that dog is going to rest at that angle. That's just kind of the resting point for it, and it's very slight, but notice that. Let's get closer. Oh, that's a good angle right there. All right, so look at that spring. You see what's happening there? So it's flexing down. So I'm gonna stick a washer under the screw so that I can get rid of some of that play happening when I'm tightening the screw down, and see if that helps keep that angle up. I'll come right back to you guys. Okay, so the lock washer idea didn't work. So what I ended up doing was just trying a slightly smaller version, or slightly smaller dog. That dog you've seen there is from a Penn International, but if you notice, that's raised up very close to the top. Now essentially what I did was lift that spring up above that little ridge right there that's on that post, so they could effectively control the dog, and that works. My main concern here was to make sure I got this dog high enough up in that area right there to have a steep enough angle to go inside to these channels. So in theory it works, and I'm going to show you how to put the other one in, and then we'll just close this up and test it out to make sure that it does actually work in when the reel's performing. So let's undo that screw a little bit just so we can loosen that up. I want to get some play in there. I want to get that. Notice it was down here before, under that, like I said, that ridge right there on the post. I want to get it just above it, and what I did to keep it in there was to use my tweezers, just kind of stick it behind it, snug it down to about right there, and now I can just keep tightening the rest, and we should be able to get it to go backwards, just like that. Now I'm going to stick my other international dog on there. And look at that, that's awesome. Awesome stuff. It's very high up on that ridge right there, which is good. So let's just stick this in, put it together, and double check it to see if it works. Now it's gonna work like this because remember it did work sometimes, but I want to fully test it with you guys so you can see it, to say with certainty that this is a possible way of fixing this issue with this reel. Now I don't know how to get parts for them because I don't have any part numbers, so we just have to rig it however we can. So, so hey Jonathan, if you're watching the video, the hex that I used to undo these screws here was a size 2.5. I think that's metric. I don't really know these kind of things. I apologize. But the size is 2.5 or 2.5 to get those screws out. Anyhow, so let's go ahead and test this out. And I'm going to stress it as much as I can because yeah, I think we're good. Alright, so I hope that helps some of you guys out there, and if you found the video useful, please hit that thumbs up button and consider subscribing to the channel if you like seeing videos kind of like this that work on reels, break reels down, that sort of stuff. Alright, thanks again for watching guys, and I'll see y'all next time.